Guys, when I tell you that APC under Tinubu administration is the worst thing that has ever happened to Nigeria, they don't care about this country. They don't care about people's reactions to opinions. All they care is about how to retain power, be in power, and also in control of power. So today, the US President Donald Trump has redesigned Nigeria as a country of particular concern over Christian genocide claim. And the US President Donald Trump himself posted this on his official handle.
Nigerians celebrating, particularly our Christian brothers. However, one thing is very, very important, and people need to understand this. Every move, every decision, every action taken, every position taken by the US government when it comes to international issues is strategically determined by their foreign policy objectives. You may think they are coming for a cause that you people believe, probably a religious cause, just like they said it's a genocide against Christians in Nigeria and all that. But I can tell you for a fact that every move, every action, every decision taken by the US government when it comes to international issue is strategically determined by the foreign policy of United States of America. I do not think they are coming here to rescue anybody. No. We are far from that. Anybody who has idea about how the American foreign policy is will definitely tell you for a fact that there is a motive behind every action the Americans are willing to take. Now, one very important thing you need to understand is that at the peak of the crisis in Nigeria, at the peak of insecurity in Nigeria, we are talking about 2011 to 2015. Where was the American government? That's the fundamental question you need to ask yourself. Before you celebrate anything, ask yourself this question. Where was the American government when Nigeria needed it the most? Now, Nigeria is gradually on track. The Americans are coming for a rescue, what they call it, a rescue, a religious rescue. Yes, be very careful, very, very careful.
Other countries of the world choose to play dirty politics. Nigeria could have chosen to play any type of politics, but upon all the politics in Nigeria, all the type of politics, federal government of Nigeria choose to play wicked politics, inhumane politics, politics against humanity, politics against every poor child in Nigeria, politics to suppress and oppress every child in Nigeria who is not in their class. There has been this persecution of Christians in the north. For the past 2 weeks, it has been on. First one happened, FG come out and deny. In fact, our president denied and said it never happened. Another one happened it was yesterday. Another one happened. The same FG, federal government, have come to deny. Say it's not happening, it never happened. You people choose to play wicked politics. Politics against humanity. Politics against every common child in Nigeria. Every poor child in Nigeria. What kind of people are you? Now you allow Donald Trump to interfere. Let's understand something, right? There's no place Yankus people go and they get it right. Anywhere they go, I can name many countries they've been involved with. They render them useless. I can name all these countries. They go there, they leave them in dust and ashes. Yankus don't leave any country the way they made them. Donald Trump getting involved is not something we should applaud. It's not something we should clap for when we have leaders, when we have people. And come to think of it, why is Khan not saying anything about it? Christian Association of Nigeria, you people have lost your mouth, you've lost your voice, you've lost your tongue to talk. When I don't chop politics money, no wonder all of you that the GOs of doom parading with private jets, you people cannot speak this time around. They don't carry politics money. Stuff your mouth. Then tomorrow you stand on pulpits to deceive your puppets, to deceive your gullible followers. Both all these big GOs, that the GOs, Christian Association of Nigeria, in fact, the two biggest religions in Nigeria, Islam and Christian, and the Nigerian politicians, you people are all the same wicked set of people.
Now look at BH. Their stated goal is to eliminate Western education, wipe out Christianity, and establish an Islamic caliphate. And what do we actually see in their attacks? They unalive Christian men, enslave the women, burn down churches, and force conversions to Islam. When they attack Muslims, it's not random, it's targeted. They go after Muslims who reject their caliphate ambitions or who support the Nigerian state. Those ones are seen as traitors and unalive. They also destroy mosques that don't fit their extremist standards. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, the rest of the Muslim population under their control pay tax to fund their operations. One of Nigeria's biggest problems is our lack of reliable data. Otherwise, we would easily see which group is being systematically targeted. But here is a clear example. In 2014, BH kidnapped about 276 Chibok girls, mostly Christians. Around 180 of them were released through negotiation or escaped, but roughly 90 are still missing to this day. Now compare that to Dapchi abduction, 110 girls taken, mostly Muslims, all were released within a month, except for one Christian girl, Leah Sharibu, who refused to convert to Islam. BH still holds out today. So tell me, who is the real target and who is just collateral damage in the quest to build an Islamic caliphate?
Well, coming to save the Nigerian Christians from genocide. And you should see the comments. You should see the Nigerians in there. Yes, come save us from the Hausas. Come save us from Fulani. Come save us from Muslims. And it's like, this is after a U.S. congressman where there's evidence. There's literal evidence right now. All you got to do is go online and search, where a U.S. congressman admitted that the U.S. government is behind this. They're funding Boko Haram. They're funding Al Qaeda. They're funding all these. They create a problem and then come to solve it. But anyways, what I wanted to say is, when my sister got married, I have a younger sister, so I have two sisters, right? There's 5 boys, 2 girls, and I'm in between both girls. So my older sister and my younger sister. When my younger sister got married, she got married to some guy in Hampton, Virginia. When she got married, my dad bought her a house. He bought her a house and then bought the house next door. So there's an empty house next to my sister's house, which only exists for the family. So when they come visit her, they got a place to stay. They don't got to do hotels, all of that shit. He has another one that I know is in the Upper East Side. Long story short, what I'm trying to say here is, we've seen, never in American, ever in history have we seen the West come to actually liberate a people. Never. So we've seen what they turned Libya into. Libya was the one of the most advanced countries in Africa. We saw what they did. We've seen what they've done to Afghanistan. We've seen what America has done everywhere they've gone. But remember, I made a video earlier and I said hate is the singular most powerful uniting force. They have pushed hatred of your own fellow kind over you for years, that now they're coming to turn your home into a literal war zone and you're cheering them. So the point of this video is, do you really think me, my siblings, my father, my brothers, anyone, do you think any one of us is going to suffer in Nigeria? If they tear Nigeria up right now, sorry, New York, ambulance everywhere. If they come in to fuck Nigeria up and turn Nigeria into Libya right now, do you think Oshomole's family will suffer? Do you think Wike's children will suffer? Do you think I will suffer? Do you think my siblings will suffer? No, let me explain. By the time they come to Nigeria and start dropping bombs, all of us would be gone. My family will be either in the UK or Dubai or here in New York or in Virginia. Wike's family, they won't be in Nigeria. Who do you, the people that put you in this position, not a single one of them is going to suffer. So go ahead and keep praying. Yes, yes, Nigeria, yes, Trump, MAGA, come and save the Christians. When they're done destroying our country, us, the people you're currently claiming to hate, we'll make a deal with them and we'll go back and continue to run it.
Donald Trump has designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Now, I need you to apply the brain cells God gave you and ask yourself why. According to Trump, quote unquote, thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. Now, 2 things can be true. 1, Christians are being persecuted and slaughtered. But 2, it isn't just Christians who are being massacred and slaughtered. No. It's Christians and Muslims who are being slaughtered, who are being persecuted, who are being displaced by, yes, militant groups, terrorists like Boko Haram and the Islamic West Africa province. But why is it that Trump is framing this as a religious persecution against Christians alone by Islamists? Now, people, Islamist is a whole new word that these dumbass supremacists, be them Zionists or white supremacists, have come up with, and apparently any Muslim is an Islamist. That's bullshit. Let's just say for now that Islamists are those who weaponize Islam, just like Zionists are those who weaponize Judaism, and white national Christians are those who weaponize Christianity. Can you see? They're all extremists. But I digress. Why are they shaping this as religious war against Christians when Muslims have been attacked at the same rate as Christians and for the same decades as Christians have? That mosques are being attacked, bombed, and burnt, and that Muslims and Christians in Nigeria share the same enemy. Or about the suicide bombing that's been happening for years that kills Muslims. They don't tell you that because it doesn't suit their narrative. The narrative of the geopolitics of the West, that Islam is the enemy and Muslims are terrorists. Again, Nigerian Christians and Muslims are being attacked, killed, persecuted, churches and mosques being blown up and being firebombed by the same enemy. Trump, the United States, United Kingdom, the West do not give a rat's ass about Nigeria or Nigerians. They only care about what they can exploit from Nigeria. And right now, this narrative about a religious war is an opportunity they're going to exploit. Trump called African nations a shithole country, tried to force Nigeria to accept prisoners that he was deporting. And when Nigeria said no, he put a travel ban on Nigeria. I don't know. Aren't you putting a travel ban on the very Christians that you claim you care about? Please. Did Trump say he's going to welcome Nigerian Christians as refugees into America? Hell no. That's only for white South Africans. They don't care about you. The only thing Trump's designation of Nigeria serves is to shame the Nigerian government. And that I'm in agreement with, because I hold the Nigerian government, past and present, accountable and responsible for the ongoing security crisis. There is no political will to eradicate Boko Haram, ISWAP, and any other militant group from the face of the earth. And this is because the Nigerian politicians, especially this government, they are all about money, power, and corruption. That's the name of the freaking game. This is Tinubu in 2014 when he wasn't president, questioning the competence of Jonathan Badlock. Tinubu is president now. He's just as incompetent, if not more incompetent, than Jonathan Badlock. He's done jack all to bring an end to the insecurity crisis and to end the terrorists. Trump and his ilk know all about the corrupt Nigerian politicians and will seek to exploit them in order to extract more out of Nigeria, while gaslighting us that they care about Nigerian Christians. And the ultimate prize will be to push Nigeria into a civil war in the name of religion. The West has done this in Africa before and other parts of the world, and they want to do it again. Nigerians, wake the heck up.
Yo, what's up, Ottawa? So this is Donald Trump post today, and he was saying that Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria, that radical Islamists are responsible, that we must save Christians.
as a country of particular concern over alleged genocide against Christians. The move follows growing allegations of persecution which intensified after Vice President Kashim Shettima's remarks in support of Gaza at the United Nations General Assembly. However, several global figures, including a Vatican cardinal, have dismissed the claims, insisting that both Christians and Muslims are victims of insecurity in Nigeria. In a statement posted on social media, Trump said Christianity was facing an existential threat in the country, alleging that thousands of Christians had been killed by radical extremists. He added that Nigerians' situation demanded urgent global attention to stop what he described as a mass slaughter. Now, joining us via Zoom to discuss this is public affairs analyst Jide Ojo. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Memna.
Good to have you.
I hope you can hear me.
All right. Now, once again, the U.S. has blacklisted Nigeria, and now this time is over the alleged genocide against Christians. How serious, how really serious is this designation?
I don't think we should make every weather of this redesignation. It's not the first time that the Trump administration will designate Nigeria as a country of concern. But I mean, way back in 2020, he did it, and Joe Biden government delisted us or removed from that list in November 2021. So it's nothing new. It came to me as a real shock. It came to me as a surprise because on the 17th of this month, during the Akaba conference or summit in Rome, President Tinubu actually met with one of the special advisors to Donald Trump to discuss this issue. I think it's Bulus. And he actually said there's nothing like Christian genocide in Nigeria for those who understand the terrain. So this is politically motivated. As he said in that news report, this gained interest of America because of what our Vice President said during the September United Nations General Assembly in September this year, where he talked about Nigeria not being happy with the situation of Gaza. And we know that United States government have been supporting Israel with all the atrocities that have been allegedly committed in Gaza and in Palestine. So this is pure politics. And I think it's just for us to, for the government of Nigeria to continue to work strenuously to protect both Christian, Muslim, atheists, everybody. We know that the country is seriously challenged in terms of security. And perhaps that's part of the reason why the president deemed it fit to change the service chiefs just a couple of days ago. So I'm not sure this will affect us much. Already there have been several actions taken against Nigeria in the course of this year, from the introduction of increase in tariff against products from Nigeria and many other African countries, to issue of our undocumented migrants, Nigerian citizens in U.S. who have also been hounded by the ICE, that's Immigration and Customs Enforcement Police in U.S. So this is something that we should just take note of, and for the government of Nigeria to work strenuously to provide security for all.
All right. When we look at it, I mean, the claim came after Vice President Shettima's remarks at the UN General Assembly. Do you think his comments played a role in this decision?
I think I've answered that in my first, in your first question, that this came as a result of what Vice President Kashim Shettima said during the UN General Assembly. And it is not surprising that this action of Donald Trump is coming on the heels of that decision. But you recall that even of this month, Revered Bishop Matthew Azan Kuka, the Bishop of Catholic Sokoto Catholic Diocese, actually came out to debunk this issue of Christian genocide in Nigeria. Yes, at the beginning of the insurgency, way back in 2009, we have churches and Christians being targeted, but it has since gone, the whole 360 degree, whether you are a Christian. As Pulu said in his statement, which I read online, he said terrorism knows no color, no tribe, no religion. So we know that the targets of bandits and terrorists has never really been, against a particular sect, whether Christian, Muslim, whether Shiite or, Sufi Muslim, or whether it's a different denomination of Christians. It is all about having an Islamic caliphate. And in all of this, both Christians and Muslims have suffered in equal measures. So there is no two way about it. This is politically motivated. As I've earlier said, this came on the heels of the very bold and courageous statement made by Vice President Kashim Shettima during his recent visit to the UN General Assembly. And it's not the first time, like I said, it has happened before. Now it has happened again. After a while, we will be removed from that list. But what I will encourage the Nigerian government to do is to continue to work assiduously to secure this country, irrespective of whatever the designation of Nigeria as a country of concern by the US. US is just one out of 197 or thereabout countries across the globe. The European countries, the Asian countries, the Caribbeans, the Southern Americans have not so designated Nigeria. So it is just for the government not to lose focus, to continue to work in accordance with Section 14, Subsection 2B of the Constitution, which says security and welfare of citizens shall be the primary purpose of government.
All right, thank you very much, Jide Ojo, Public Affairs Analyst, for speaking to us tonight.
It's my pleasure. Enjoy your weekend.
And you too.
Nigeria has been designated as a country of particular concern, and this was coming. Everybody saw this coming. Everybody expected this to happen. I don't know what politics is going on in the military, but this has gone on for so long. You can't turn around right now and try to blame anyone for this. This has gone on for decades. So you can't blame anyone apart from ourselves. Now the spotlight is on Nigeria. Trump coming out with this puts pressure on Nigeria to solve these problems, because this is supposed to follow with some sanctions. So if this is going to push our leadership, because the Tinubu administration is just 2 years into their tenure, going to the third year. So I won't be so harsh on judging them, but 2 years is also enough time for them to have planned, at least, on what to do with this whole terrorist situation, because it's been going on for too long. At least we have to actually give them a good fight. We have to push in a lot of money into the security of Nigerians and see what we can do about this once and for all. Push them out of the territories and take over those territories back, and guard those territories and make sure they don't get them back. In as much as I don't trust the Americans, obviously I know for a fact that they're not doing this because they actually care about Nigerians. Don't mind whatever they're doing. I know that there's a bigger picture to this, but then this is not the time to talk about all of that. We also have a part to play in this. We also have the blame to take for all of this, because we've allowed it to go on for so long. If we solve this, they will not have this card to play. But we've given them this card on a platter because we've been playing politics with our security. So if this is going to push, if this is going to mount pressure on the presidency to start to get serious about these problems, because security is a big problem. We need this country to be safe, like we used to have it some 20 years ago, when this whole terrorism thing was not even a problem in Nigeria. But right now it is, and how we have allowed this to go on for so long,
It's appalling. So we have to get this fixed. There's no other way we can avoid this. We have to get it fixed now.
I saw a video of Mike Winger. I've watched the full video, but in the caption, he put like a template you can, contact your state senator with. And I'm in Texas, so I'm going to try to do that. And, send an email to the senator. Might not seem like a big difference, but it's something. Like, I'm Nigerian, like I said, like I have half my family in Nigeria, not in the part where Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria, but it just makes you think of how real the persecution of Christians is, bro. Because in America, it doesn't look like what's happening in Nigeria, but I believe persecution in America could be, your freedom of speech, like what's happening in the UK. Like, you have people that have been told that they can't even street preach. There was a guy in the UK, this dude on Christ Forgiveness Ministries on that channel on the internet. This dude was banned from the city of Brighton for 48 hours because of spreading the gospel and made it seem like he was, doing some type of hate speech. We have the privilege to spread the gospel in America today. Like, in 2025, in the time that we live in today, it's not illegal. No one's sending you to prison for sharing the gospel. So this is just a reminder to please pray for Nigeria, bro. Pray for Christians in China, pray for Christians in North Korea, pray for Christians all around the world, bro. Like, at this point, it's like, why should I be afraid to even say what I'm saying right now? Oh, I'm afraid I'll be canceled, or I'm afraid of opportunities. Frick the opportunities, bro. If someone did not want to give me an opportunity because I'm bold about my faith for Jesus Christ and in the gospel, then I don't need it, bro. So yeah.
Let me just say that this took a really long time, and I think it's actually hard to believe that they didn't know, but I'm glad that he has finally spoken out about it and called one of the congressmen to actually do something about it. I'm praying that this continues, that they all begin to see all of the persecution happening with Christians at the hands of Islamic terrorists. I'm not afraid to say that. They might take this video down, but I do not care. That religion as a whole, their foundation is this. It is violence. Some of them do not practice this, but overall, that is the foundation of the religion. And we as Christians in the United States must understand that there are many Muslims in this country who are waiting to be able to do the same thing to us that their brothers and sisters are doing to people in Nigeria and in all other countries where persecution of Christians is happening at the hands of Islamic terrorists. We don't need to be afraid, because the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and of a sound mind. With that said, people always say Islamophobia, and that means a fear of Islam. Well, we're not afraid of Islam, and we shouldn't be afraid of people as Christians, but we should be keenly aware and cautious of them in this country, because I believe that that is what they want to do. Nevertheless, I believe that as believers, we are called to still make disciples of all nations, including Muslims. And we go about it lovingly. We don't need to unalive people in the masses to make our message, the gospel, known. Instead, we do it in love. We have to come to the reality and understanding that Islam is probably, and is not, I shouldn't say probably, is really not a religion of love as they say. It is not Christianity, and that is what they try to mix it in with, but we see the fruit of what they actually are and what they want to do to the world as a whole. They're just starting with Christians. They can be mad all they want. They can banish. They can say, "Oh, you're labeling people." I don't care. We have the evidence of what they're doing all across the world. Massive graves of blood where they've unalived thousands of people. Hecky no, are you going to tell me that that is not a part of who they are as a whole? Again, there's very small population of people who don't want that, but that is the basis of Islam. That is what they do. So Christians, don't be afraid. Stay prayed up. Pray for our brothers and sisters who are being persecuted, but be aware that in this country, because there are Muslims allowed to live here and be here, that there are people who think like that and want that to happen to us. Again, not all of them, but that is the basis. So we have to know that that is a possibility. God bless you.
Welcome back to G-Line. So Donald Trump just declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern over the continuous genocide and persecution of Christians especially in the northern Nigeria. So these statements came after Pastor Ezekiel Dashimo cried out for help, exposing how Fulani jihadists have been unleashing terror on innocent Christians, burning villages, killing families, and forcing people to flee their homes. Now, this is embarrassing, to be honest. It's so embarrassing that it has gotten to this point where outsiders are the ones calling attention to our own problem. Now, for years, Nigerians have been shouting about this issue, but the government keeps acting like nothing is happening. Churches have been burned, pastors have been kidnapped, and even entire Christian communities, they've been wiped out. Yet the authorities, they still call it farmers' headers clashes. And that's not a clash for me, it's about terrorism. So when Trump spoke out, it was more than just politics. This is a wake-up call. And what he said is what many international observers have been saying quietly, that there's an ongoing religious persecution in Nigeria that the government has refused to address properly. And the sad part is the victims are mostly poor villagers who have no one to defend them. These people are crying out to God and to the world for help, while those in power, they just continue pretending like all is well. This Pastor Ezekiel Dashimo's emotional plea, that was what broke the internet. And he shared stories of Christians that were being attacked in their sleep. Also children that were losing their parents, and entire churches being burnt to ashes. And he said that it's no longer safe to gather and worship freely in some parts of the country. Instead of getting protection or justice, all they get are empty promises from politicians. The Nigerian government needs to stop this careless silence. It's not enough to release statements condemning attacks. We need action. The killers, they need to be arrested, tried and punished. Communities need to be protected. Soldiers need to be deployed to those danger zones, not just during elections or when there is a protest. They will now set themselves there to fire tear gas at protesters, but they need to defend innocent lives, because right now it's looking like the government values political alliances more than human lives. And for Trump to even step in, whether you like him or not, that's not the case here. This shows how bad things have become. Imagine another country calling out Nigeria for failing to protect its citizens. That's a serious shame. And it means the world now sees us as a place where genocide can happen and nobody in authority cares. So at this point, Nigerians need to demand accountability. Christians, they shouldn't live in fear in their own country. Every citizen, no matter their religion, they deserve to live freely and safely. The bloodshed must stop, and the Nigerian government must finally prove that it can protect its people, not wait for foreign leaders to do the talking for us. Because if this continues, it's not just Christians who are in danger. That's just the truth. So what do you think about this? Do you think Trump was not supposed to say what he said? Well, let me know what you think in the comment section. And if today is your first time joining my channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe.